Doom Nation, what's up? Here we are again for another Doomed review. Scagz and I, as always, doing the Doomed review. And instead of Marvel this week, we got a little DC action for you. And we are going to be reviewing the Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, right? Yeah. Very creative second title for DC.
Yeah. Before we get into it, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. The subscribe button's right there in the right side, right corner. Just go click it. These subscriptions, they matter to us. They help us move forward. They give us a bigger base so we could do more reviews and all that good stuff that comes with it. And make sure you check us out at our Instagram account at 2DoomMen_podcast. And in our link is our Linktree bio. And that's where you can find all of our social media. So please go check us out, 2DoomMen_podcast. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. So
what did you think?
This was a lot better, let's put it that way, than the first go around at Suicide Squad, which was an absolutely horrific disappointment. I enjoyed the opening sequence. It was like, first of all, they used Merle again, right? What's his name? I can't remember his name in real life.
Michael Rooker or something.
Michael, right. And I thought it was cool because he's tied to James Gunn a little bit already. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's kind of like a little funny throwback to Guardians of the Galaxy. You also had Idris Elba in here, who's from the MCU as well.
Yep.
So you had some MCU guys come over and step in here in somewhere that jump ship. Well, not really that they jump ship, like their characters are gone now in the MCU. So it makes sense. But I thought, just to start here, James Gunn did a lot better than the first go around.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's a few things that I would have done differently, but boy, I enjoyed this film. This was pretty good, I gotta say. Action packed. I liked the way they went back and forth during the timeline. The characters were good. I enjoyed John Cena, so it was a good.
Yes. Spoiler warning: we are going to be talking about the whole thing. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm not going to go that much into detail as we would for an MCU flick. John Cena did a great job, man. The Cantonese warrior over there. Sorry. He his what's his name? Peacemaker?
Peacemaker, yeah.
Sorry. His character was good. The bromance action between him and Idris Elba was pretty good.
It's just they're all trained assassins now. You know what I mean? Like, we have Deathstroke, a trained assassin. We have Deadshot, a trained assassin. We have Deadshot, a trained assassin. We have Peacemaker, a trained assassin.
Yeah, they had good chemistry. And I like how a lot of memes have been born out of the two of them, like in their interactions.
Yeah.
It's like, so you basically do what I do. He's like, yeah, but better. And they had like a funny rivalry throughout the entire movie. And again, spoiler warning, I liked how at the end, when they kind of had like their little duel over the Ratcatcher, they both shot at the exact same time. And as you see, Cena's using Peacemaker's using the big hollow point bullet. And what was Idris Elba's character's name?
I think Deadshot.
No, I don't think it was Deadshot. Damn it, I don't remember. But anyway, his bullet went straight through Peacemaker's bullet, and that was a callback to the beginning where they were both going over, like, I do this better, I do that better. And he's like, I use smaller bullets.
It's blood sport.
Yeah.
He took his own little tidbit. He's like, well, I shoot more center. How do you shoot more center than center? Smaller bullets.
Right. He used his own little, boastful thing against him.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about this movie is that the mission actually made sense, and it was a mission, unlike the first one, which was the whole thing was a fucking con.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller obviously is a notorious character. She's
Hillary Clinton, man.
Yeah, basically. And I was expecting some trickery again in this one, but the trickery made sense in this one. She wanted to keep the drive, and it was very believable, right? She wanted to keep the drive to protect the United States government's actions or interests or whatever. That shit would have happened in real life. So that little twist made a lot of sense. However, the overall objective of the mission to destroy Project Starfish was the actual climax and end game of the story, instead of something that made no sense. It blew up the whole thing on you. So I appreciated that James Gunn fixed that aspect of this first Suicide Squad.
And if you also look at it, every little superhero character, whether they died in, the first half of the movie or not, had their own little unique mission. So I don't know if you caught on to it, but like the Javelin guy, he was there in case Starfish got loose. That's what his role was. Amanda Waller had thought up, because remember Harley, spoiler alert, everybody, Harley was able to hurt the Conqueror with the Javelin. That's what his role was there in case the Starfish got loose. Everyone had a different little secret, side mission. Right. Remember what Peacemaker's main mission was to make sure that information never gets out. He didn't have the same mission everyone else did.
Yeah, everybody had a little thing. Even I guess you could say the first team that hit the island.
Yeah.
Their role was kind of to just be a distraction for the other team.
Well, I don't know if they were distracted. I think it just worked out to the advantage and they rolled with it.
Maybe. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised though.
Davidson sold him out, and that's his character.
I wouldn't be surprised if Amanda Waller did that on purpose. Just sacrifice one team just so the other team could get in there. Even if the one team was led by Rick Flag. Yeah. Rick Flag is not really a criminal, isn't he? Isn't he like the only one?
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, even sacrifice guy who was doing it for the right reasons, I guess you could say. Yeah. She's really just an evil character.
Yeah, conniving and government-esque establishment as they come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the establishment had control over metahumans, this is what they'd be doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I firmly believe that. Like if superheroes were real, it'd be like the boys. Yeah, they'd all be the bad guys. The government would co-opt them all, use them nefariously, and then they'd paint them as Homelander or whatever, like Superman, red, white, and blue, and whatnot.
One thing I gotta say, the characters were great. Harley Quinn, what's her name? Maggie,
Margaret Robbie.
Margaret Robbie. She's Harley Quinn. What a great character she plays. I think Ezra Alba did a great job. John Cena. You know who voiced King Shark?
Who?
Sylvester Stallone.
Did he really?
I'm almost positive he did. For the amount of fan favorite that King Shark has come out to be on like Instagram and stuff, he played no part in this movie. He could have been such a hulking figure and been so much more fun, but he played an idiot, and I hated that.
He did. It was him. I just Googled it quick. That was hysterical. The whole King Shark. Yeah. I feel like James Gunn knew how to get the dry humor into DC stuff, which DC has like trouble injecting humor into like what's overly dark most of the time. And like it's okay to be overly dark, but shit, like it's okay to be funny, and they can't find the right mix of that stuff. So I feel like he did find the right mix.
Which they definitely did. I felt there was more of that seriousness and comedy that should be in superhero movies. The thing I've noticed is I think DC's just too caught up in their bread and butter of having like a darker Dark Horse Comics type thing.
Right.
So since I watched the Suicide Squad, a lot of like the Batman and Superman stuff pops up on my HBO Max feed now. You know what I mean? Things that you might like and stuff. I've been watching a ton of them, and they're all dark, and they're cartoons, and they're bloody, and they're cursing and dropping F-bombs and having romantic. They're not for children at all. So I think like DC made so much money over the years being like R-rated or darker that like they just went full steam into the movies with that.
That could also be the style of everybody working on the projects, right?
Yeah.
They're DC is dark, so they have guys whose style is dark, and it's hard for those guys to draw outside the lines of what their talents are. So when you bring a guy like Gunn in, who's really that's not his thing, it works, and it showed. Let's see. I like the rat catcher. She was millennial.
That was powerful. She was super powerful, man.
And her little rat was super cute, waving all the time and whatnot. I thought that was funny. I enjoyed that. I thought that King Shark would have a little bit more of a role, although he kind of just like sat around most of the time.
Thank you.
Comedy relief. I thought like he was there to fight the Starfish, and then even at the end when he did fight the like the
Excuse me.
starfish, he was overmatched. Even you could tell. Yeah. So
Polka Dots was great. That
yes.
was his little quirk where he sees his mother
Oh my
everywhere.
god, that was hysterical.
Such a dude, because when it was the giant mother crushing the building, I was cracking up.
And the in the club when he was in the club and it was all the moms dancing around him.
Yes.
And they all looked like Karens too.
Yeah.
So that was an added extra to it. And
He
the fact
played-
that he literally shot Polka Dots was pretty funny. Is he a real DC guy? Polka Dot
I think
Man?
if you remember in the early Flash TV series, like the first couple of seasons, Mark Hamill played somebody that was kind of Joker-esque.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was like the Polka Dot dude.
All right. Yeah, Mark Hamill played a lot of things for DC.
Oh, he's voiced Joker forever, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was gonna say with Harley, I mean, she had a good storyline in this, but I felt like she kind of took a back seat a little bit. And I felt like Idris Elba and John Cena were really like the lead characters throughout the whole thing. But she did a good job, and I enjoyed her story. But I felt like she wasn't the main focus.
I don't disagree with you. She definitely wasn't the main focus. She did play a part in what was going on the other side of the island. That kind of worked out for everyone. She was the wild card. I think though, what we're getting though is like she is like an established DC character now.
Right. Got to stick with her.
This is like the chance to establish other DC characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't. You have a good actress. You have a good character. You got to like use her where you can. Like her acting was great. Her role was great. I just felt like she took a back seat a little bit on this one. Not really.
She definitely did.
Not really. But somewhat. Let's see. What else?
So what was your big pet peeve of it? Because I have one big pet peeve.
My pet peeve. What's your pet peeve? You go first.
So, I mean, you always hate that I bring up the comic books and stuff in these reviews and stuff.
That's fine.
But the first cover of the Justice League is the Justice League fighting Starro the Conqueror. And it's a giant starfish that, just like they had in the movie. And so I was really excited when I realized, oh, Starro the Conqueror, we're getting, Robert Pattinson's a new Batman. The Flash is doing some type of Flashpoint thing. What if the Suicide Squad is the movie that sets us up for the first new revamped, whatever you want to call it, Justice League?
Multiverse sort of scenario.
Or multiverse, or, like a coming of Thanos type of deal where maybe whatever changes get made in the DC cinematic universe, this will be their coming together to fight Starro the Conqueror, just like in the comic books, the first time they teamed up. And then obviously, the Suicide Squad defeated Starro the Conqueror, which is fine. I enjoyed it, but I was getting really excited for something else that didn't happen.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think that's overall a larger problem with the DCEU. There's no real solid overarching enemy building. I guess you could say it was Darkseid, but now you have like the Snyder Cut, which we did a Doom review. Check that out for the original Justice League movie. So like, what's even the true one anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
things are just like too much in flux. Where Marvel, nailed it perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay, next we'll start over again. So yeah, that I didn't even think of that. But that's a good point. One thing I was going to say, I watched Birds of Prey. Did Harley end up in jail at the end?
I don't remember. No, I think she walked away free.
Let's see. Did Harley end up in jail at the end of Birds of Prey? Gonna Google it. Okay, because that was something that was annoying me. I was going to say, why is she even back in prison? Right? She didn't.
Well, she's Harley Quinn, so.
He was last seen in Birds of Prey, and skip ahead here. I have an article that explains why, but of course it's like 10 pages long. So it says that it appears that Harley's time as a girl boss, I guess she became like her own little clown prince of crime, was short-lived. In a throwaway line in the Suicide Squad, Rick Flag tells fellow squad veteran Captain Boomerang that Harley rejoined the team after being caught robbing a bank. So they kind of like horseshoed her back into the Suicide Squad after Birds of Prey, which is
kind of
annoying. That's my bone to pick, right? It's like there's no continuity. It's like I remembered, like, I'm pretty sure after Birds of Prey she was free, but now she's in jail again. And I must admit, either that line was cut out or I must have missed it. I didn't hear it. I don't know.
Also bullshit that Captain Boomerang died.
Yeah.
He was you got to see, that was your continuity from the last Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? And now he's gone too.
Yeah, I think they mixed in too very well in this one, like actually, blowing up people's heads. Like a lot of people ran away.
Yeah.
And so that was good that they actually got like the Suicide Squad aspect of it in this one. I thought the Weasel was hysterical. And spoiler warning, if you watch past the credits, he wakes up on the beach and he walks off. He was still alive.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything or if we're just trying to be funny at the end. Maybe he'll be again in another one again.
I've never seen the Weasel, come across a comic book of him, ever hear of him, see him on social media, nothing. Never seen the Weasel before.
That's kind of another little plot hole. The fact that he's still alive and was able to walk off. Well, how come they didn't see it on it said deceased on their communications thing. So that's a little plot hole there too.
And they never checked if he could swim. They fucked him from the start.
There was a lot of sloppiness in putting this mission together, but that makes it funny. That's not, that's not a plot hole or anything. That just made it funny. So what do you want? Anything else you want to get into before you give it our ratings?
Man, something that a wow moment, man, was when Harley shot the president.
Oh, that was great. Man. Yeah.
I didn't see that coming at all. And she looks at the gun and she's like, who knew there would be bullets in here? Like, that was such a great scene because it was such a throwback to the Joker and her shitty taste in men. And the second she realized this guy was just as bad as the Joker, just as crazy, put him right out of it. And I mean, brutally, slow death, just bleeding on the floor.
Yep. That was very Harley Quinn-esque.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she was going to, he kept saying how she's anti-American. I thought she was going to maybe be like, after all that, be like, no, I still love America or whatever, just because I'm, a criminal.
An anarchist or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, anarchist doesn't mean, but I don't know. They didn't get into her political affiliations or motives, I guess.
Yeah. But if I was going to rate this, I'm giving it like an 8. I enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again. It was forget the continuity, I didn't really see any Easter eggs in it. You know what I mean? Maybe have to rewatch to try and catch some Easter eggs.
Yeah, we're more Marvel guys though, so we'll catch those more.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And even if you haven't seen Birds of Prey or the last Suicide Squad or the Snyder Cut, like, it was still an enjoyable movie, I felt.
Yeah, I agree. You could just watch it as a one-off random movie, not having watched anything else in DCEU, and enjoy it. You don't need to know anything about it, which is good, but that's also a detriment as well to people who have been watching the other ones and you enjoy like continuity or building towards a larger part, which is the magic Marvel has and DC can't seem to figure it out. I'll give it a 7.5, 7.5. I did enjoy it. It was fun. It was cool. James Gunn did a good job. He did the Suicide Squad justice, I believe, but it was lacking in certain regards. Like all the DC movies are always seem to be lacking something. They just can't perfect it. I can't explain it. Don't know why. They just can't. Maybe I'm biased towards Marvel. Maybe it really is them. I don't know.
I mean, someone like me who is, loved comic books, loved superheroes and watched the cartoons and played with the toys and had friends that were deep into this stuff. I look at Marvel and there's so much great about it. And then you look at DC and you have characters like Batman, who's the super badass of the world, the Flash. You have these great characters. It's really DC just needs to get their shit together. They went after big names. Robert Downey Jr. was on his last luck in Hollywood. This role changed his life. That's what I'm hoping for with Robert Pattinson. He didn't enjoy doing Twilight. All he's really known for is Twilight. And now here's his chance to step out of that BS role, become the next Batman. And he's young enough and not famous enough where he can dedicate the next I don't know, 10 years, but maybe 5 years.
Right.
You know, Will Smith and Ben Affleck were never going to dedicate 10 years of their illustrious acting
to making a
careers.
cinematic universe. Right.
Yeah.
That's going to be continuous. Yeah. I agree with that. We'll see how, get back to that. How is that even going to play into all this stuff? Is it going to be outside?
The Flash.
Yeah.
is
Hopefully,
gonna be,
hopefully they will bring everything together, and it'll be,
if
they'll fix the continuity, multiverse issue.
If they fail with the Flash, that's it for like the DC universe. They'd have to just start all over again, like fresh.
Yeah, and do it right this time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, Doom Nation. That was our doomed review of the Suicide Squad. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the Suicide Squad itself. I hope we didn't spoil anything, but that's your fault if you sat through this. So thank you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You can find us everywhere on social media. Facebook is at Two Doomed Men. Twitter is Doomed Men. Instagram at Two Doomed Men _podcast. We have a podcast, obviously, and you can listen to us where all major podcasts are heard. Thank you, guys.
If you like Marvel, we review all those. We did Black Widow, the whole Loki series, and we did the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So check those out. Take it easy.
Thank you, guys.